So I'm going to talk about photojournalism and the truth behind the image that we see, when it's appropriate to just take the shoot and when it's relevant to do something else. As journalists, when we're in conflict or polemical situations, we need to understand when it's important to show the reality and when it's sensationalism. And the same way, I want to defend the importance of press freedom related on pictures and how the visual record influence and is the base of even the future history. So the way that our shoots are created and our visions as photojournalists should be taken with responsibility. We have the power to share with the others what is going on, but sometimes we need to ask ourselves when it's available to cross the line and which are the limits of giving information. So that's why I'm going to explain this topic based on some examples in Colombia and abroad and how these cases are treated. The Bogotazo events happened in 1948 and are one of the most historical situations related to our home city. We have some visual records supporting the words on the historical relates. Having the chance to see how the city where we live had across its evolutions and some dynamics, and even the difference between the political ideals or the actors of the conflicts were look like, are thanks to Sari Gonzalez. But at the same way, he is the only photojournalist who was dealing on this time. So we can just approach to his reality. Nowadays, each photographer puts his camera on the things that he considers important. So if we don't have any point of comparison, we have a conducted point of view. By the way, this Colombian reporter is one of the most admired by visual documentary journalists because he tried to share a partial point of view with a very close work to his events. So Sari Gonzalez tried to put his partial point of view, even he had friends in each political ideas, and he tried to do as relate as possible the situations happened on the 40 years. My second example is a Netflix reality fiction documentary series called Shoot in the Dark. So a series that directly follows different freelance journalists who make a series of audiovisual shoots of traffic accidents that occur on the streets on the city of Los Angeles, night by night. They compete, secondly, to sell his shoots to the mainstream media. So one of the dilemmas presented throughout the accompaniment of this work of these reporters is where the interesting in selling these shoots to large television networks negatively influence the application of their work. As many criticize, instead of going to taking pictures of what happened, they should try to help those affected. Social work being more useful than informational, if there are no authorities that are interested in assisting affected individuals. So they were seeing a car shooting, a car accident, and they were just shooting, but they didn't interfering on the way. So this is like the dilemma for the photojournalists who are dealing on conflict situations. They told us to be nearly partial, but it's hard to relate the situation to the world. So also related to this case of the photographer is the case of the photographer Kevin Carter, who killed himself of also being criticized after shooting a kid next to a crowd in a picture who won a Pulitzer. In the picture you can see a kid who in Africa, and he has some traces of hungry, and he was next to a crowd, but Kevin Carter after explained that the crowd was next to the kid. Actually, it was a thing of angles. Returning to the Netflix series, you can see that a kid, you can see another journalism waiting for a car who is surely have a car accident. But even shooting is important. He could do something to help and stop the situation. So he was acting by sensationalism because he had the power to work and help this kid and the unconscious person who was inside of the car. So he put his profession and his sensationalism before the life of someone, and this is not good. So because he known that this car accident will happen, so this is like a point of debate because he chose to record the new events in order to get money and had his work before a life of a person that he could save. And this is sensationalism because if you have the power to influence that something bad doesn't happen, this is the priority. As well, when you shoot some conflict situations, we have to share. You have to choose a way that you have to show the truth, but it doesn't record like the misery as you know. Like if sometimes you think that is so shocking and that is not working with a person like a dead person, a hurting person with a lot of blood, this is not journalism. This is sensationalism because it doesn't just it doesn't bring information, it makes like some feelings like sadness, misery, or shock the audience, and this is thinking on remuneration or on impact and not on giving information and doing your work as you have. Conclude, the photojournalisms are inscribed in a lot of difficult situations, but they have to manage their ethics and their professionalism. So freedom corresponds precisely to this task that occurs every day when journalists beyond reporting choose what can be read. But this responsibility to inform, to communicate, and even make facts visible is also a power. So you have to know how to show it to the people and how to share it.